So, guys, this is the topic for today: partnership. Partnership in terms of a man and a woman coming together to try to form a family, because that is the reason why a man and a woman will come together to begin with. So, from the context I'm going to look at it from the context of partnership. The idea that you want something from her and she wants something from you, right? This is why you come together. Different people want different things. So I cannot say for sure what everybody wants, what every man wants, or what every woman needs or wants. But the idea that two persons come together, it means that they at some point going to be sharing a lot of ideas together, right? When you do see a woman, first a man may looks at the woman beauty, and what is the woman looking at? She's also looking at the man's stature, what it looks like, but also she's also thinking about what can that man do for her, right? So each person has an idea as to what they want out of that relationship. This is what it is. But the idea that a woman at some point may feel that she has outgrown the man, or that she now has something greater to offer the man, right? That idea is an egotistic idea. Whenever you think that you are above somebody and that you have something more to offer that person, there's starting to be a breakdown in the partnership, and this is where disrespect comes from, where you're thinking that you're worth more than you're really worth, right? Not saying that you do not worth the whole entire world, right? Everybody has a right to look at themselves highly, right? But when it comes to partnership and relationship, that's not the place to think. That's not the place where you shed these ideas of how high you are, right? The relationship, it has to be a form of understanding, right? When you go to your job, yes, you get your job based on your credentials, based on what you can do. And when you no longer can do that job, you are fired. You lose your job. So relationship cannot be looked at from the same understanding. Or else the man is going to get fired or the woman is going to get fired. So relationship has to be based on some form of empathy, you know, because you join in that relationship. What you were getting in the beginning was okay. Why is not okay after? Not because you have outgrown the person. It's because you're seeking different things in your life. And it's okay to always look and seek for different things in your life, but it's not to burden your partner for those things which you seek, right? Because it's not a job. Relationship is not a job. Relationship is a is something that is innate in man and innate in woman for them to come together. You must also understand that there must be a personal life that you have to have, right? A personal life meaning that you're going to have inspired to do certain things in life, and that must not be part of your relationship. Because the fact that we're in relationship is almost it's almost not a choice. Most of us would not even want to be in a relationship if it was a choice, right? But biology, we are built through from the scope of biology, we are built for this. That's why we need it. So when you need a relationship because you need it and it's almost not a choice, right? So which means that you have to make the best choice you have in choosing the partner that you want to be with, you know. And after you have chosen this partner, don't think that everything is going to be okay and everything is going to go smooth and it's going to be go perfect. You know, the idea that women, you know, modern women of today think it's okay to say whatever they want to say to men. For example, stuff that's not nice, they can always say it and get away with it. They always say it. But once a man says anything negative towards a woman that she think might be disrespectful, then all of a sudden she think that man is a bad man, right? If a man goes around and preach how powerful and mighty he is, he's considered a bad man. But why a woman can go around and preach woman power and woman this? Once a person start to preach those ideology, they are not ready for a relationship. They cannot be in a relationship, because a relationship is not formed on the base of how mighty and powerful you are. Relationship is formed on the basis of empathy, where you feel love and you feel comfortable with somebody, and because your biological clock is ticking, meaning that the need to be attracted to someone else, not something that we can control. We don't control that, right? A human being is not in the process where you can buy and sell them and trade them and get fired today and get fired tomorrow. You know what I mean? A relationship comes from a different place. And the moment you start to put your relationship where you have that mindset that for some reason you have outgrown the male, this is for women, that you have outgrown the male, which is not true. It's never true. You cannot outgrow anybody. Your aspiration is your aspiration. But the fact that these females thinks that they can play the role of saying whatever they want to men, is just a wrong idea. It's just a wrong idea coming from the female, and you wonder why so much relationships never work, right? I understand how the female feels. She always feels like she's somewhat will become a victim. And once you start to think about yourself that way, that someday you might become a victim. Some of these females have never really they didn't grow up in a divided family. Some of them were brought up in a nuclear family. They have mother, father, they have the grandmother, they have cousins, they have everything around them. But still they grow up thinking that they're going to be a victim one day of what? Is every woman a victim? No, not every woman is a victim. And where do you get the idea from that you might become a victim? So the idea that you have that you might become a victim, now that turns around where you end up victimize the male. Because once a person feeling that that they are going to be under attack, they will attack first. This is how the human mind works. People retaliate before it happens. So which means that you are fighting against an idea that you think might happen, which may not happen. So already you are fighting against something that may not even come to pass. So you're victimizing the male, which means that your idea is to suppress the male, your partner. Your partner has to work, your male partner has to be walking on eggshells. Whatever you say to him, whenever he speaks to you, if the male speaks highly of himself, highly motivated, he's a career-driven person. He seems like a powerful male. While women are attracted to all of these qualities, at the same time they are cautious because they're thinking that they can become a victim of this man's high ambition or this man's hard work, which means that the moment the man seizes control of his life, she becomes the victim, which is not true. Man is not out to victimize women. But in this case, you know, the man will be, the woman will start to tell the man, hey, why do you think you know everything? And then she was starting to pretty much argue on every point. She's arguing on every point because she is feeling at some point that now she is becoming inferior to the male. So how can a male aspire to be higher and higher? How can he become his best self around a woman who is trying to drag him down by using words like, why do you think you know everything? Or I'm not your student, don't teach me this, don't teach me that. And once you see this kind of idea starts to pop up in your mind, it's not the man's problem that he is smart. It's not the man's problem that he is reading a lot. It's not the man's problem that he is seeking to be better himself. This becomes now the woman's problem. This becomes a mental problem for her to be feeling that way, right? And to use that to victimize the male, saying all kind of things. Women tends to, even when they're looking at men, they will say, hey, I don't want to date that man is ugly, that man is short, he's broke ass. When do a woman think that it's okay to say these things to a male? Or even say these things to the person that they're dating? If you want to know a person, right, then you have to get to know the person by having constructive conversation with that person. Not conversation based on your feelings. Not conversation based on what the world says. Not conversation based on your past. Right? Not conversation that everything that the male aspired to be, that's great. You turn it out to be a controlling factor, where you have to try to control his directions. You have to agree on the stuff that he does. You have to approve the stuff that he does. That's never the woman's place to approve anything that the man does. Never the woman's place to build a man. These are false ideas. A person builds himself based on what he believes, based on his belief system. And for sure, when you meet a male that's in his 30s or 40s, that man probably well established and built already. You have no purpose in building anybody. Right? You have purpose in taking control of your life. Right? But not to the point where the man has to lower himself in terms of education, lower himself as to how he thinks, trying to hold on to his thoughts and his belief, because you are going to look at him as a controlling male. Because that's the narrative you're being taught. That's what somebody teach you this as a child growing up. So now whenever a man trying to become powerful, all of a sudden he equates to control. Not true. If a man tries to teach you something, he's controlling. But at the same time, the opposite to this is when a man cannot teach you anything, you said he's not up to your level either. So then you trap the man you trap the man in his own thoughts, where he cannot go this right or he cannot go left. So now you become the controlling one, where you're controlling his movements and his thinking. Right? And then you wonder why the relationship breaks down. Then you blame that on the man as well. Relationships breaks down because he's controlling. How was he controlling? He was controlling because he has some ideas of how life should be. When the woman have her idea of how life should be, she is looked at in a way that she is the She is the pillar of the home. She looked at as a great mom, a great woman. You must listen to her. She have intuition. She's this, she's that. But when the man is put into that role where he has ideas, hey, the idea that he has, for some reason, if the woman is to listen to that idea and is to follow that idea, now it becomes controlling. Because the woman no longer wants to listen to the male, because somebody has been preaching that listening to a male partner is you're under control. What a nonsense. Biggest foolishness not ever been preached to people. No wonder the mind is confused. No wonder the mind of the woman is so confused. And this is why she cannot understand a lot of things. Because she's trapped into a false idea. Therefore, she builds her life around these false ideas. And the reality of life doesn't match up with those ideas. So it becomes a conflicting idea in your mind. This is where how conflicts happens in your mind, because things becomes chaotic. Nothing is aligned. Well, they said this, but he's that. Or I think this, but this is the case. So the ladies, if you think that you can say, it's okay for you to use all of these terms when it comes to defining a man, or he's short, or he's ugly, or he is, he's a broke ass, he's not a leader, he needs to lead me. Right? But the moment the man starts to lead you, then you break down and you start to cry victim and control. The trap, ladies, you are trapping men. You're trapping men in their thoughts and their thinking. You're preventing them from being great. You're preventing them from being the best person that they can be. The fact that a male tell you something and you resent it, that is just something that really terrifying. But when the male doesn't listen to what you tell him to say, what do you call him? You call him all kind of names. You call him hard-headed. You call him stubborn. But when you don't listen to what the male said, what is the name? What do you call yourself? See, you never thought about that, right? Because you're perfect. And we're living in a world where the woman thinks that doesn't matter what the idea is, it's not a bad idea. But that's the empathy that the world has on the woman, but they don't have the empathy on men. And relationship is based on empathy, right? And women need to step up to this kind of standard of empathy. That's what it is. Not saying you cannot be a strong black female if you want to. I mean, hey, this is your world. I mean, this is not your world in terms of you control the world, but I mean, each individual has a choice in this world to be what they want to become. So nobody's saying that you cannot be that. But remember what a partnership is. Remember the need to have a family, a male and a female. Right? Remember that what that is based on. It's also based on an open mind. Listen to your partner. It's not a bad thing to listen to your partner. You cannot go through this world with the idea that you don't need to listen to this and you don't need to listen to that, and actually label people as narcissists and control because you have to listen to them. If you don't have a better idea, do you have a better solution or a better idea? When somebody gives you an idea, if you don't have a better one, why Why the name calling and somebody who has an idea? The fact that a person is a quicker thinking and have great ideas and have multiple ideas doesn't mean he's controlling. That's not what it means. People have given the word control in the wrong meaning and the wrong context. Somebody trying to direct their life is not the idea of controlling. Right? And you don't necessarily have to follow the man. Nobody's teaching that the ladies need to follow the man. But you need to follow good ideas. And you need to follow proper standards. Right? It's not just about, pretty much going opposite and anything that your male partner says. Right? For sure, not all the time your male partner is going to have the right ideas. But even when he has the wrong ideas, right? There's no reason to actually focus negative energy on that wrong idea that he may have. Right? A person is a person. You're a male or a female. You're still a person. And you're going to have disagreements. Once you are a person, you will have disagreements. Most people think of themselves, I would use the word highly for lack of a better word, but I don't really want to use the word highly. I would say most people are constantly, their brain is constantly thinking, and they are always thinking that they are doing something which is right. Right? Doesn't mean they're right. But the idea, of a blinded person, right, is to close their mind and ideas. Because if you think a certain way, have a certain belief, and you always think that this is perfect and this is right, so you never open the channel for any kind of new knowledge. This is what the problem is. Right? And you don't need to be looking at your man as you think that is right, or your man is talking too much, or that your male partner is a know-it-all. Right? If he wants to know it all, let him know it all. That's his lot in life. That's his choice if he wants to know it all. If he wants to study and he wants to have knowledge of the whole entire planet, why are you trying to subdue that idea by telling him that he thinks that he knows everything, or thinks that he knows it all, or he's controlling? That idea of words playing, this is to actually trick and suppress a person into what they think and how they think. Right? A person knows what he knows. And how is that offensive to you as a female? Right? The idea that one is smarter than the other is the lacking of information. Right? People put energy and effort into what they know. And some people shows no respect for that. Right? If you can have a better argument than your partner, then go ahead. But the idea that you just wants to disrespect your partner, especially the females, calling your partners all kind of names, disrespect your partner with no real idea, you don't have the better idea or a better solution, it's wrong. That is the wrong way for women to take it. And if you ever go ahead, ladies, and think that you're better than your partner, better than your male partner, it's wrong. It's a wrong idea to have. What makes you better than your male partner? Right? You're smarter? You make more money? Or it's just your ego that makes you feel like you're better? Right? You're better looking? Right? Dressing up? Wearing makeup? All these things sometimes makes a lady feels a lot more powerful than she really is. Right? And the need for some people to feel afraid or scared are scared to challenge anyone, for example, to be themselves or to be a great partner. The scarceness or the timidness to lose your partner over these things is absurd. Right? It's really absurd. And the reason why I say it's absurd, because then there is no security in that relationship. No security, no sense of security. Because if you ever feel like you need to, to say the things that your wife wants you to hear, or your partner wants you to hear, to not break out and be something larger because you feel that this is not the beliefs of your partner. Don't do that, male. Don't do that, men. You have the right to be what you think you can be without the support of your partner. You and your partner can still live a great life without them supporting what you do. But if you're waiting for your partner to support everything that they do, then how can you ever be what you want to be, or what you were created to be? Right? So stay on the path, guys. True to yourself. Don't disrespect the female, but hold them accountable. And be strong and be firm. Stand up. You don't have to disrespect them to stand up. But don't destroy what you were created to be because somebody else don't believe in you. Right? As I said, your partner doesn't have to have the same ideas and belief that you have. Even if they want to put you down and think that you said you're a know-it-all or you're controlling or you're narcissist, well, hopefully those women who you're dating who have these ideas of you, hopefully they can smarten up and realize that they have a great man in front of them. And hopefully you don't return the favor and start calling your wife names and calling them narcissists or calling them, is either they too fat or too short or too tall, whatever the case may be. Hopefully you don't follow that path. Hopefully you don't stoop to that level and follow that path. Right? But be true to yourself.